Hi guys, thanks for joining us here on another episode of Crossing the Line. Let's get straight into today's news. Biden declared that MAGA Republicans are present, clear, and a present danger to the democracy, threat to this country. Now, Biden went full Darth Vader, full Republic, full Hitler the other day in a speech to the American people. You'll probably see these images getting around with the red background. He did have was red, white, and blue, but you think you'd do a little bit of research on the topic of, I don't know, maybe bad political speeches first. Over 74 million Americans voted for the former President Donald Trump in 2020, and according to Joe Biden, they present a clear and present danger to our democracy and a threat to this country. That sounds fucking awesome, doesn't it? Now, speaking in the front of the dark red lights and a pair of Marines, Biden delivered a speech titled "Battled for the Soul of the Nation" outside the American Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on September 1st. Fewer than 10 sentences into his speech, the President of the United States declared that equality and democracy are under threat. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise, he said. But tonight, I've come to this place where it all began to speak as plainly as I can to the nation about the threat we face, about the power we have in our hands to meet these threats, and the incredible future that lies in front of us. If only we choose it, the president continued. We shall have a 1,000-year reich! Sorry, different speech, different day. Biden went on to say that his work of the presidency is to build an America that is more prosperous, free, and just. Yeah, so free. They have so much freedom there. They're so free at the moment. The president asked America to be honest with each other and ourselves. No one in the White House has been honest in the last nearly 2 years. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Yes, like dictatorial kind of speeches. At this point, Biden took aim at the Americans who voted for his political opponent in the 2020 election, branding them extremists. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Holy shit, I am getting like Hitler vibes. That is why Pedo Hitler is trending on Twitter right now. Pedo Hitler. That's I've never heard a president be called that, but we'll roll with it, shall we? That's fucking fantastic. That's the trajectory of the United States over the next couple of years is just fucking, it's going off. It's going off. Biden added the caveat that he's now talking about mainstream Republicans who are willing to work with him on his democratic policies. I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not every majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. They're not mainstream. They're extremists either. Like, fuck me dead. Just because they want to make America great again? Like, Jesus Christ. Biden continued, but there is no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by the Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans, and that is a threat to this country. These are hard things. The president stated that he is the president for all Americans before continuing to blast those who preferred his opponent. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution, do not believe in rule of law. What the fuck is he talking about? That sounds like he's talking about Antifa and Democrats. They did not recognize the will of the people and refused to accept. Will of the People is a very good song, by the way, and Timcast here has made a great song called Will of the People. Go and check it out. They did not recognize the will of the people and refused to accept the results of a free election. What are you fucking talking about? You guys denied he won the election in the first place. You guys were screaming that Hillary won and that he cheated. And then you said that Russia helped him, which turned out to be a load of bullshit. And it turns out he was the one fucking meddling with Russia. Jesus. And they are working right now, as I speak, in a state after state to give power to the side elections in America, to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers and undermining democracy itself. Just like how you go and send FBI to Donald Trump's house and raid him. Trump supporters, Biden said, are a threat to this very soul of the country. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to privacy. There hasn't been right to privacy since 9/11 in the US. No right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. What if you love your mother? Are you going to marry her or corn pop? You know? He continued, they promote authoritarian leaders. Authoritarian leaders. He's fucking talking about himself. Literally. There is no right to choose, no privacy. They promote authoritarian leaders. They have fanned the flames of political violence. That is what you're doing. You've just declared war on 75, 80 million people in the US. You've just declared war on 80 million gun-carrying fucking Republicans in the US. Speaking of the American citizens who protested at the Capitol on January 6, Biden called them insurrectionists, placing a dagger at the throat of our democracy. Democracy manifest. Biden cited respected conservative Circuit Court Judge Michael Lutwig, saying that Trump and extreme MAGA Republicans are a clear and present danger to our democracy. I think he's been reading too many fucking Tom Clancy novels. I don't think he can read, actually. I think someone might read him bedtime stories. Luttig, whatever it is a CNN contributor who served on the US Court of Appeals of the Fourth Circuit for 15 years after being appointed by George W. Bush. Before bringing up the deadly Charlottesville rally in 2017, Biden said that the nation is a point where the Americans need to choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past. We're all called to duty by a conscience and confront extremists who put their own pursuit of power above all else. Democrats, independents, mainstream Republicans must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy, Biden said. We, the people, will not let anyone or anything tear us apart. He is screaming for civil war. And then the next day he comes out and they ask him, why did you just declare war on 80 million Americans? And he's like, what? I didn't say anything. Corn pop and So that is why Pedo Hitler is trending on Twitter today and over the last couple of days. Pedo Hitler, I mean, look at the screen grabs there. Isn't that just... Imagine if that was Trump. Holy shit, would they be losing it? I know a few people who would have a bit of a meltdown. Look at this. Oh, Mr. T. And then... I'm sure that image has been fucked with slightly, but Jesus Christ. That's funny. Pedo... I love the memes. I'm a fascist. Sie Gautenheimen, sie glieben, sie schauben lieben. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is fantastic. Twitter is amazing some days. Now, of course, Biden can't ride a bike, but he's going to ride the country into a fucking civil war, and we will see where that gets him. Now, we're going to move on from here to another story, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, another story here that's trending today. Some kids at a private school have been expelled. Some have been suspended and banned. No child abuse material in Knox Grammar School group chat. They were expelled for having a private group chat between, I'm guessing, all the boys, all the mates, sending each other, you know, what you'd expect to be in a boys' private group chat or a Discord server. I'd hate to see what happens when our private friends' fucking private messenger gets leaked or, you know, Discord gets leaked. It's, we send some fucked up shit. Police have said that this content of an offensive group chat involving 150 students at an elite Sydney school did not contain child abuse material. Students at Knox Grammar School in Sydney's Upper North were sharing racist, homophobic and violent content. Now, none of that's illegal, but these kids have been banned and kicked out of school. And now the media is dragging them through the internet. These kids are getting fucking attacked by every media outlet. School staff were aware of the chat for a month, but students were only suspended or expelled after it became public knowledge this week. See, that's the fucking issue. New South Wales Education Minister Sarah Mitchell said the content of the Discord chat was appalling. It's just not acceptable, she told 2GB. I want to be kept up to date in relation to the investigation that is happening at the school. The fucking investigation. Like, if it was child abuse material, yeah, investigate it, find out where it came from. It's probably come from one of the fucking teachers. It's a private fucking school. Mitchell described the content of the group chat as vile. We have to get the message out through to young people, especially young men. This is not acceptable, she said. It's not acceptable to you, but you don't have the fucking high ground on what you find funny. If you don't find it funny, it doesn't mean no one else is going to fucking find it funny. It's a joke about fucking rape, homophobia, or fucking trans people. It doesn't matter. If they find it funny, it's fucking funny to them. It's not illegal. You can't just ban and expel kids for having a private fucking messenger. Now, if they were sending photos of naked school kids or something like that, yeah, ban the fuck out of them. Get them in trouble. But if it's a private messenger for telling jokes, being a bit of a fucking Chad, and sending a fucking funny message to a mate, some of the content in the group that has expressed a love of Adolf Hitler, a disdain for women, and adopted images taken during school activities. What do you expect? It's a bunch of fucking prepubescent teenage boys. They're fucking around on the internet. Knox principal Scott James told parents yesterday that some students had been suspended while others had left the school. The boys posted inappropriate images and engaged in offensive commentary on an online private chat room. The nature of these posts is contrary to the values and culture of Knox and is unacceptable. The actions of the boys do not reflect Knox education or the expectations that we place on our students to be respectful and responsible citizens of the community. The content in the group chat was scrutinised by child abuse and sex crime squads in the New South Wales Police. Knox Grammar is one of Sydney's most exclusive schools and costs up to $35,000 fees each year. Now, obviously nothing illegal was found on there. It's obviously a fucking chat group where it's a bunch of mates sending each other fucked up shit, probably porn and fucked up jokes. What's wrong with that? They're fucking teenagers, man. You can't expel or suspend them for something they're doing outside of school. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. And now people like media outlets like The Project are dragging these kids, telling everyone that they're pieces of shit because their private chat group was fucking leaked.
Tonight, shocking new details on the
Shocking.
messaging scandal.
I wonder what his porn search history and what his private chats are like.
Offensive chat group that kept it quiet for weeks. The messages are so obscene, we've chosen not to air them.
My reaction was both disgust, but a lack of surprise.
Jokes about gang rape, abortion, and pedophilia, rampant misogyny, homophobia, and anti-Semitism.
So basically, they had probably a couple of Andrew Tate memes on there. Now, they're trying to crack down on these boys because they're boys, and because what do boys grow into? They grow into men, and they do not like boys growing into men. They want them to be little baby-faced, cisgender, fucking soy boys that kiss ass of anyone on the left or anyone who says that they are wrong for being a white male. It's a war on being a man. It's a war on being a male, and they're trying to stop it at a younger age every day. Now, The Project, they are a group of disgusting fascist individuals who love free speech when it comes to them, but when anyone else wants to say something, no, they try to shut them down. It's never ending. It's disgusting the way that they're treating these kids. It's like those kids in in the US that were attacked out the front of, I think they were on a field trip. They wore some MAGA hats. Then they had some protesters, like Native American protesters, come up to them and start chanting in their face. Then they looked a bit smug because they're rich, white, fucking private school kids. You know, I didn't go to fucking private school, and the private school kids are always uptight. But they're all kids. And these individuals come up to the kids, started chanting in their face. They filmed it. Then that got shared around. CNN was saying that these kids come up to them and that they were harassing these Native Americans. They were disgusting. All these kids got doxxed. They had death threats thrown against them. They had people coming around to their houses. Famous people on Twitter were saying that they should be killed and executed for their views. Now, they're children. So what happened there? Oh, that's right. They sued CNN and the media and end up coming out of it with something like $1 billion or something. Disgusting. Just because someone has a fucking joke or has something different to say that doesn't agree with your fucking boring ass life. Now, these poor boys, they are probably going to have to change schools. If any of their names get leaked online, they're probably going to be harassed if they're not getting harassed already. And the media is going to be to blame. You can't have a private chat with your mates and share some fucked up things. Like, our chat is fucked up shit all the time. Half the time when it's someone shares a fucked up thing in the chat, it's a girl sharing it. We've all got a dark sense of humour. That's what bonds us together, and that's why we're mates. They probably have the same fucking thing. They're bored kids in a fucking private school with probably, I wouldn't say rich, but well-off parents. Rich compared to what we were, anyway. And they're expressing themselves, having a laugh. No one was hurt by it. No one was getting bullied by it. It's just they had a private chat that they said some fucked up things in and shared some fucked up memes and jokes and videos. There's nothing wrong with that. But they want you to fucking think there's something wrong with it. People like Channel 9, Channel 7, Sydney Morning Herald, they're painting these kids to be disgusting, homophobic, racists, misogynists, just because of a joke. Get over it. Well. We have caught another one. A preschool teacher in Portland was suspended in an emergency state order after Andy Ngo contacted them to inquire about him posting about masturbating at work and filming porn videos. We have the story here from Newsweek. Preschool teacher's disturbing social media gets him barred from job. Preschool teacher in Portland, Oregon, who is a recipient of thousands of dollars in donations after coming out about contracting monkeypox, has been deemed a serious danger to the health and safety of children, following a revelation of a disturbing social media history first investigated by Newsweek. It wasn't fucking first investigated, it was first investigated by Andy Ngo. Marco Antonio Reyes Rojas was first featured on a local television earlier this summer, where he talked about the challenges of contracting monkeypox and needing to isolate. The 30-year-old Mexican-American who was openly gay shared photos of his pustulates and rash he developed. Lovely. He had previously been featured in the local press for his political advocacy on behalf of the illegal foreign nationals living in the US. On social media, he blamed the United States for his suffering of monkeypox. Do you know who's to blame for the suffering of your monkeypox? Fucking you. You dirty bastard. Use a fucking condom. Don't go and do mass orgies in the middle of the night in strange neighborhoods, man. Fucking hell. This country really sucks, he wrote on Facebook, leaving its people to defend for themselves and asking the community for help. It's been super hard navigating living with monkeypox. You wouldn't have to be fucking living with it if you're a bit more fucking, slow to go and jump into the middle of a gangbang. His story on the accompanying GoFundMe campaign, where he identified as a struggling preschool teacher, resonated with many Americans who donated thousands of dollars. His story was further amplified by the Spanish language media. Hispanic teacher from Oregon is infected with monkeypox and makes an urgent appeal to the community, reads the People on Española magazine headline. He was also interviewed by Univision Miami, and he personally thanked a GoFundMe employee for helping to connect him to the press. The media blitz worked. Within days, $7,000 was quickly raised for the preschool teacher who works at the Fruit and Flower Childcare Centre in Portland. I think he's the fruit, isn't he? He's the fruit in the fruit and flower. But after the Newsweek requested comment of the state education department, Reyes Rojas' social media post, the state of Oregon issued an emergency order of suspension, immediately barring him from providing care to children. I wonder why. Office of Child Care has determined that the individual is not suitable for enrolment in the registry, that individual possesses a substantial threat and serious danger to the health and safety of children, and suspended the individual's enrolment from the Central Background Registry, effective August 19th, 2022. The order reads, the emergency suspension order alleges Reyes Rojas has posted sexually explicit and highly concerning posts about his physical and emotional state whilst working with childcare children on his personal and social media account. On 4th of June 2021, he tweeted about masturbating at work on his account, at Central Bottom. I think I know a few blokes at work like that. It felt so good, he wrote. I don't know why I haven't done this yet. The tweet marked the beginning of him posting regularly about being sexually aroused or under the influence at work. The bio line of his account read, 30-year-old Mexican oral power bottom. That's a fucking superhero name if I ever heard it. Mexican man. Oh, the oral power bottom. Living in Portland, or preschool teacher by day and Central Bottom by night, 18 plus. On November 17th, 2021, he posted nude photographs of himself. On December 15th, 2021, he tweeted hungover, horny and at work. Well, haven't we all been hungover, horny and at work? The post continued in 2022 on 13th of January. He tweeted, I'm so horny at work. What's making you horny at work, Rojas? On April 4th, he wrote, I swear I'm still high right now at work and horny. Oh, God. On June 30th, he announced he was going into sex work by creating accounts on OnlyFans and Just for Fans. This body needs to be exposed. It's got... No, it fucking doesn't. Jesus Christ, it does not need to be exposed, dude. He looks like he's out of an old western, like a fucking old spaghetti western. The dude in the bar that picks a fight with the fucking, the good guy he shouldn't have picked a fight with. Jesus Christ, it doesn't need to be exposed. My body doesn't need to be exposed. I'm not going to fucking start an OnlyFans. Although, he tweeted about masturbating at work, posted nude photographs of himself again and again and again. His body needs to be exposed, he tweeted. On July 18th, he tweeted he'd been fantasizing about oral sex last night at work. Reyes Rojas' account featuring over 500 images or videos of pornographic content. I shouldn't be laughing. This guy's a fucking preschool teacher. Jesus Christ. Most of the images partially hide or obscure his face, but many feature him living in a living room, home arranged with album artwork from pop singers. The same room and music artwork can be seen in his public media interviews and photos posted on his fundraiser. A senior legal compliance specialist at the Oregon Department of Education asked Newsweek's reporter for evidence of Reyes Rojas' posts after the agency was reached for comment, which was provided. The emergency suspension order was issued by the state 48 hours later, following their own investigation. He declined to comment in a text message, also said he did not have an attorney who could comment. I'm not interested in speaking with you or any other outlet at the moment, he said. A spokeswoman for the Oregon Department of Education told Newsweek he had referred to the Oregon Department of Human Services Child Abuse Hotline. All reports made to Child Abuse Hotline are also reported to law enforcement. Melanie Masaros said. The Newsweek called the Fruit and Flower Childcare Centre, I think it's just called the Flower Childcare Centre now, a woman who identified as the centre's director refused to give her name or comment about Reyes in September last year. Reyes posted multiple photos of the classroom on his Instagram. It's weird to say that I have a classroom of my own, he wrote. It's going to be a crazy school year. Photos on Facebook show he was working there as early as 2018, although it's unclear if the employment has been continuous. The state suspension against Reyes says he engaged in inappropriate behaviour while working at Fruit and Flower Childcare Centre. This centre is a registered non-profit with revenue nearly $2.3 million according to 2020 tax filing. The preschool has mixed reviews on Google, with some complaining about the non-refundable $100 fee just to be put on a wait list. Nearly all of the 5-star reviews came from people currently listed as members of the preschool's board of directors. Oh, seems like it's a fucking bit of a creepy place to be sending your kids. I mean, I don't know about this dude, but what the fuck? Oh my god, dude. Oh, I love Twitter. Twitter's fucking amazing. They're the kind of people that are teaching your kids. And they're the ones that want to go and talk about their sexuality and what they feel like. His Twitter account's been suspended. This is his old Twitter account. That's not you, bro. That's fucking catfishing. That's not you. You got bigger titties than that. Forward time, masturbating at work. It felt so good. I don't even know why I haven't done this yet. You haven't done it yet because you're around fucking children, you creep. Jesus Christ. Fantasizing all the dicks of... What? At work? Holy shit, he's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. I'm so glad Andy No found this motherfucker and ousted him for what he is. He can no longer go near kids in that school. But that's Portland for you. That's where all the lefties live. That's where they all like to protest. Andy is a gay man himself, and he's been attacked in the streets for being a gay Asian guy, you know, because they're really tolerant there in Portland. They're really tolerant for the left. Just goes to show that this is what happens when teachers get promoted and get a job because of their status, because of their gay pride status, maybe. I don't know. But keep an eye on your teachers. Go to those parent-teacher conferences, guys. Make sure you know what your kids are learning at school and what kind of person is teaching them. Jesus. Another story that has hit the news today, over the last couple of days, call to ban petrol cars within 5 years or not meet emission targets. Sydney-siders have been given a big wake-up call with a new report revealing the city's not pulling its weight, apparently. So they're trying to ban cars, I'm guessing new sales of petrol cars in Sydney by 2027, 2035 and 2050. Sydney-siders are being told that they need to change the way they live under a radical new plan to decarbonise the nation's most populous city. Petrol and diesel cars would be banned in just 5 years' time, and that should be no new gas connections to buildings across the city for a committee for a Sydney proposal suggests. Under the plan, gas connections would be phased out by 2035, and there should be no new gas appliances by 2030. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that fucking working. The influential body of business leaders and infrastructure experts have said that without more aggressive action, the state will fail to meet 2030 or 2050 targets. New South Wales climate policies are leading the nation, but this research is a wake-up call that Sydney's not on track for net zero. It's not going to be net zero. Unless you get fusion, it's not going to be net zero. We've got plenty of work to do, committee spokesman said. To halve emissions by 2030, the only levers big enough to make a real difference are getting many more electric vehicles on the road and reducing the carbon intensity of the energy we use. Okay, great idea. Now, where are the cars coming from? Are you just going to buy all these cars and give them to people who want one, who need one? Because I can guarantee you, no one's going to be able to afford to go and spend 80 grand on a fucking new electric vehicle. That's if it's not more, because the more people that want them, the more they're going to cost. Look at the price. You go and try to find a new Land Cruiser for sale. Someone was selling one for $180,000 and it's got wind-up windows. If you spend that much money on a Land Cruiser, you are a fucking idiot. Both came with big social, logistical, and political challenges, but the reduced energy bills that come from electrifying transport and buildings will be worth it. To achieve the projected reductions, the committee said that there needed to be twice the amount of electric vehicles on the road than the steady transition approach calls for. All government and commercial fleets should be converted to electric vehicles by 2030. Okay, cool. Go and get all the electric vehicles and government vehicles, make them electric. So, what about, like, I don't know, government vehicles? Does that include like contractors? No. So any like heavy earth moving equipment? I don't think they even fucking make them electric. You can get small electric like forklifts and things for working in warehouses, which is a good idea because, you know, it produces emissions inside of a small confined space. You don't want diesel fumes, gas fumes, shit like that. But you know what? They don't work very well. You ask anyone who works on a dock or anything in like a warehouse or even Woolworths or something like that, those little electric trolley jacks, their batteries are shit. A petrol and diesel car sales ban announced well in advance would also send a clear signal to the industry that EV charging, servicing and supply chain networks need to be in place. Obviously, because there's definitely not enough fucking charging stations for, 1.3 million electric vehicles? No. There's not enough of a fucking network electrical grid to charge that many. You don't have enough. You have supply issues now. They have power issues now. They have rolling blackouts. They had some of the other, a couple of months ago, I did a video on a podcast on it. They had issues then. Holy shit. They're just saying that they have to do this, but it's not going to work. It's going to kill people. What are you going to do? Arrest people if they don't have an electric car by 2027? Modelling the urban policy tank release with the report said on average a household could save $1,250 a year in fuel costs and then spend $60,000 on a car if they could afford to make the switch. Yeah, no one's going to be able to afford to make the switch. A home battery reduced those bills by a further $850 a year, and converting gas appliances to electric could save another $150 per year on average. That's bullshit. A gas stove or an electric stove still uses fucking power. They're trying to say that using an electric stove is less greenhouse gas emissions. Where does the power come from? It comes from the power plug, which comes from the power lines, which comes from a coal-fired fucking gas plant. If it comes from solar, everything comes from solar. Yep, fucking great. But where does all the electricity come from to build solar? Slave labor in fucking some countries, coal in most others. Endeavour Energy Chief Executive Guy Chalkley forecast that by 2027, more than 1.3 million electric vehicles will be on its network by 2040. See, that doesn't make sense. That's fucking outright lying with numbers there. Listen to it closely. He forecast that by 2027, more than 1.3 million electric vehicles will be on its network by 2040. That doesn't make fucking sense. They know that they can't meet the demand of that fucking net zero. They know they can't meet it. So why push it to the point where people are going to lose their jobs, lose their livelihoods, can't afford to How are they going to get to work if you ban cars? Our customers are telling us they want to take control of their energy to suit their individual circumstances, and they want us to ensure the energy grid is ready for this transformational change. It's funny how that the people pushing for it are the energy companies. The ones that don't necessarily have a finger in the pie of oil and petrol. We must take stock of the short-term volatility in the economy and the cost of living pressures, whilst now taking the opportunity to reposition the electric system to achieve a balanced long-term customer outcomes. Reporters also recommended expanding rental and apartment access to rooftop solar and battery storage. So, most places in Australia have solar power on their roof. I'd say a massive amount, 80% plus. I've got solar here. Everyone I live next to rurally, they have solar. A lot of them have batteries. They can run off grid, as we call it here. I'll be getting batteries soon, But I'm holding out until they actually have some decent batteries, because even the Tesla batteries now, they're garbage. They're hot shit. And plus, I don't want to spend $30,000 on a battery system and then have to replace it in 10 fucking years. Even if I didn't have to pay any power. I'm only paying $75 a week with the solar I've got now. Maybe $200 a week. Sorry, not a week, a month. $75 a month. Maybe $200-$300 a quarter. What's wrong with that? Nothing. So it's saving me money there, but I'm having to pay off the $30,000 solar system to do that. So I'm not really saving any money at the moment until I've paid that off. But by then, they've deteriorated as well. So they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that solar panels and batteries deteriorate. What do you do with with an electric car once the batteries are fucked? You drop a cell in a normal car battery and the battery's fucked. Now that costs you $300 to replace. I've got the 12-volt system in the car. The battery for that cost me $1,600. The batteries are not good enough to be doing this yet. One day, yes. The graphene batteries are looking really promising, but not at the moment. We can't do it. There's not even enough. 2027, it's 5 years from now, and they're going to ban petrol and diesel cars in Sydney. What are they going to do? They can't just catch public transport everywhere. Good luck if you live in Sydney. Good fucking luck. I'd be looking at fucking moving. The only way you change this shit is by voting. No one fucking votes. It's ridiculous. Good news, everyone. Dr. Anthony Fauci announcing he will be stepping down in December. Hopefully, he will be stepping into a courtroom and being charged with mass murder, but we shall see, won't we? Now, Dr. Anthony Fauci has announced he will leave his current position with the federal government in December. Fauci currently serves as the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and chief of the NIAID laboratory in the not today, Satan. As well as the chief medical advisor for President Joe fucking Biden. It has been an honor and a lot of a lifetime to have led the NIAID in an extraordinary institution for so many years. And through so many scientific and public health challenges, I'm very proud of our many accomplishments, Fauci said in a statement released by the NIAID. I have worked with and learned from countless talented, dedicated people in my own laboratory and at the NIH and beyond. To them, I express my abiding respect and gratitude. Fauci said that he will not be retiring, instead intends to pursue the next phase of his career and advance science of the public health to inspire the mentor, the great generation of scientific leaders as they help prepare the world to face future infectious disease threats. What has he got planned, I wonder? We shall see. Thanks to the power of science, which he is the science. Remember, I am the science. The investments in research and innovation. What happens when the science stops doing science? Is there science anymore? The world has been able to fight deadly diseases and help save lives around the globe, Fauci said. I am proud to have been part of this important work and look forward to helping to continue to do so in the future. Now, just remember all those poor little beagles that he had their faces eaten whilst they were alive, laying there and could feel everything. Wonder if he gets an award for that one. Fauci has led the NIAID since 1984 and has worked under 7 presidents and crafted the nation's response to a number of serious threats, including AIDS, Ebola, Zika, and most recently, COVID-19. Yeah, how'd you go with the AIDS epidemic, Fauci? You didn't, cause a whole bunch of panic and everything, did you? Fauci told the Washington Post that the past 2.5 years has been some of the most difficult of his career, due in part to the intense attention his public statements received in the divisive state of national politics. It was one of the most important challenges we have had to face, and I believe my team and let history be the judge of that. Oh, history will be the judge of that, and there will be a judge, and you will be judged accordingly. They have made... have made a major contribution, Fauci said. We didn't do it alone, but we played a major role in the development of vaccines that have now saved millions of lives. Have they, though? Really? Because, first of all, you said that vaccines are... you're going to get the vaccines out to everyone and you won't get COVID. You won't get COVID when you get a vaccine. That's what they said. Then that changed to, oh, well, you'll get it, but you'll feel a lot better. And it was only going to be one jab. Then it turned into 2. Then it turned into 3. Then that turned into 4+. And it's just never ending. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson have never made this much money before. Thanks to Fauci. Thank you, Fauci, for that. I'm sure their pay packets increased over the last couple of years because of him. In July, Fauci told Politico he planned to retire at the end of President Joe Biden's term. He denied the report the day after its publication. Yeah. So, this little fucking gremlin, hopefully he will see the inside of a jail cell, but I doubt it. You know, the elite seem to get away with it. But I have noticed trending lately is they have started to turn on the vaccine a bit in the news. There's been a couple of stories where they're questioning side effects of it, where they're questioning the legality of forcing it onto people the way they did all over the world, in Australia, in New Zealand even. There's protests going on at the moment in New Zealand against that dictator bitch there. You're not getting any coverage of that, obviously, because, you know, you wouldn't want to be seen as not being liked by your mass amount of fans over there, Jacinda. Now, Fauci, I don't even know if they would use him as a scapegoat and pin everything on him, but they seem to be starting to blame everything on Trump. Like, there's a 10% rise in fatalities around the world from everything. So, heart disease, deaths in general, it's 10% rise. Now, whether that's got something to do with the vaccines or not, we will see, I suppose, or just being locked down in your home, you know, having your immune system suppressed, suicide, things like that. It's all up 10%. And they're trying to start to blame Trump now because they know that if they blame Trump in 2022, they can start pushing that narrative in 2024 when he's running. 2023, so on. So I would not be surprised if they come out and start throwing old Anthony the Science Fauci under the bus and they start blaming anything wrong with the vaccine on Trump because, yes, he pushed for it to come out. He was at Operation Warp Speed. He pushed for that. He still thinks the vaccine's a good thing. And they're going to start blaming any and all negative effects on him because the Biden administration or the Democratic administration could not take any blame. They won't take any blame for anything. So they'll push it onto Trump. Over the next 6 to 12 months, they'll start pushing it harder and harder and possibly could win them an election if they push it hard enough and if they get it in right. Like, if they blame any side effects on Trump, well, he made you get it. He's the president who was in charge and locked down everything. It's like, no, he actively tried to open everything up. I mean, you look at Florida, they demonized DeSantis because he was keeping shit open mostly, not completely. But once he found out, like, the severity of the situation wasn't as bad as they made out to be, then he opened things up and let people have their freedoms and live their lives. And then you look at somewhere like New York, California, anywhere else, probably besides Texas, maybe Georgia or something like that. It was shut down, locked in your house. They had police driving around the streets of Chicago, I believe, shooting people who were out after dark with rubber bullets and pepper balls. Our country, Australia, we just decided apparently we're going to build concentration camps, but, you know, whatever. They're going to start blaming shit on Trump. They're going to start blaming that on Trump. Anything that goes wrong when it comes out that the vaccines could have possibly hurt all these people, and not just that, like the lockdowns, all that shit hurt people. They're going to push that agenda and blame Trump for it. They won't take any responsibility for themselves, and it could very well win them the election. But we will see. We will see if he ever, Anthony Fauci ever sees it inside of a jail cell. I doubt it. He could probably be Epsteined. Might have a bad reaction to one of his buddies' vaccines or drugs. You never know. But we'll see. Over the next couple of years, 6 months even, I'd put money on him starting to blame Trump for the vaccine side effects and the lockdown side effects and the overall economic downturn that we've had because of COVID. Anything bad about COVID, they will blame on Trump. Anything good, they will push Biden and whoever else they can't run him again, surely, but whoever they're going to run in the next election. You see it. It'll end up happening. Thanks for watching our video. Please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to our channel here at Crossing the Line, and I'll see you guys next time.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.